Hello, 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 everyone. How are you guys doing today? This is Lashonda, Peer to Peer by Law of Saving Angels. Today, we are going to be talking about Nothing I Do is Good Enough, the breakdown of verbal abuse. Welcome back. Welcome back. Here is a space where we can speak honestly about trauma, healing, and the things people don't always say out loud. This is a safe place. No judgment. No filters, just truth. And today we're going to get into something that a lot of people have felt, but don't always know how to name it. That feeling of nothing I do is ever good enough. I want to start this off. If you were ever felt like no matter how hard you tried, it wasn't right. If you ever questioned yourself over and over, if you ever felt like you had to earn basic kindness, this conversation is for you. Because what you may have experienced wasn't just criticism, it may have been verbal abuse. Let's get real about how this actually sounds. It's not just yelling, okay? Sometimes it's quiet. Sometimes it's constant. It can sound a little bit like this. Let me break it down for you guys. You always messing something up. Why can't you do anything right? I guess I just have to do it all myself. I shouldn't have to tell you this. Or even silence when you were expecting acknowledgement. And what makes it confusing is sometimes it's mixed with moments of kindness, just enough to keep you trying. So you start thinking, maybe it is just me. Maybe I just need to do better. But here's the truth. This is how the patterns work. You clean your whole house. They find one thing you may have missed. You try, they move the standard. You speak up, you're too sensitive. You apologize. It's still brought up later. There's no finish line. There's no moment where everything is finally where you get it right? Because the goal was never your growth. It was control. It was criticism and keeping you in a place where you question yourself. And over time, that doesn't, that's, that does something to you emotionally and mentally. You start overthinking everything that you do. You start second guessing your decisions, apologizing for things that don't really require an apology. You shrink yourself. You make yourself invisible just to keep peace in your household. These are some traumatizing things, you guys. And some of us go through it more often than we think that we go through it, right? Because we minimize it, we normalize it, we become invisible. We try to, make it not seem what it really is. But and the hardest part that comes along with it is you're trying harder and harder, thinking that this will things will finally get better. But you can't earn healthy treatment from someone committed to misunderstanding you. I want to pause because that's a lot to intake, you guys. And I just want to pause for a second and think, where in our lives did we start feeling like we weren't enough? Whose voice do you still hear when you doubt yourself. And ask yourself this honestly, where you actually, or where have you actually failed? Or where are you actually failing? Or where are you being measured by standards that kept changing? Those are some of the questions we need to ask ourselves, because everything that I have stated previously about, you know, nothing you do is good enough. We get that all the time. And we get, oh, I might as well just do it myself. Or I could have did it myself. But I asked you, so do it yourself. Right? Stop asking me to do things that I will never be able to be to your standards of how you wanted to, how it should have been, because I will never meet your standards, right? So that's what we got to think about. That's what we got to move towards. And that's what we got to stay focused on. Let's be honest and truthful and aware of, you are never too much. You are not the problem. Oh, because that's a big one too. You're the problem. No to yourself. Note, I should say, to yourself. And say this constantly. You were never too much. You were never the problem. And you were not created to live in constant state of trying to prove your self-worth. If someone made you feel like nothing you did was good enough, that says more about their pattern than your value. Who's that? Oh, sorry. um, so always keep that in mind. Always ground yourself with the truth. You were not too much. You were not the problem. And you were not created to live in a constant state of trying to prove your self-worth. And if someone has made you feel like nothing you did was good enough, that says more about their pattern than your value. So, journaling, right? And checking in. Before we meet again, because we're going to be meeting really soon, because this is very serious, this is very sensitive, and this is very, very, very important, that we need to identify, we need to heal from, and we need to stand our grounds when we start setting boundaries, right? So before we meet again, I want you to take a moment for yourself and ask yourself, when have I been trying to prove I'm enough? Not when, I'm sorry. Where have I been trying to prove I'm not enough? What words have been replaying that don't belong to me? What would it feel like to stop chasing approval, even for a moment in time? Just one moment. I'm not chasing your approval today. Okay. Um, let's write it down, put it in the comments, journal it, say it to yourself, speak it to yourself, however you need to get it out, and just be honest with yourself. You don't have to tell nobody. You don't have to share it with nobody. This is something that is personal for you to do to start the healing process. This is because we are showing that we have a verbal abuse situation. And this is where the healing will begin. So, in closing, we pray and we ask God and we tell God everything that's going on and what we need from God. So, God, we come to you as we are, no